Alright, kia ora whanau. Day one of official isolation. So, I've put up a few tasks on, excuse my mufti by the way, I've put up a few tasks on Education Perfect, so I'll just stand back a bit. So, if you go into Google Classroom, I've uploaded a few tasks there that I'll just talk you through very quickly. So the first one there is 10 Sheppard reading assessment. So that is an assessment on Education Perfect, which looks like this. So it's called Singapore Culture Article Assessment. So much the same as we've been doing, except it's on Education Perfect. And it is a non-fiction article rather than a poem. Second one is A Hanging by George Orwell. And that's the one that I was talking about yesterday, the short story about the guy that's going to be marched to be put to death. Really, really interesting story there. So have a go at that. I've actually put on, if you access the article, there is a YouTube link there, and it links you to somebody reading the story for you, so you can kind of read along or just listen like an audiobook. This one's pretty long though. It's about 4 pages, or just under 4 pages long. But it's set out just like the others are. So you've got must-dos. So we've got like glossary, like we've done already. Because you're quite a lot, because it's long and it's written quite a long time ago, there are some words in there that you might not have come across before. Some of them that I hadn't even come across before. And because it talks about a Burmese man, there are some Burmese words in there as well that we need the translations for. Second must do is face value questions. So things like, in your own words, what's the story about? From whose perspective is the poem told? Where's the poem set? And what is the author's purpose for writing the story? I understand that this might be quite hard for you to kind of do from home without me being there to kind of guide you along, but just do it as best you can. And if you have any questions, just let me know and I can kind of work alongside you online. So write out your answers and I can give you some feedback as you go on. There's no real due date for this, but try to get it done sort of in the next week. Oh, no, you got holidays, so try to do it, but don't freak out about it. As I said, I can pull out a grade from your other stuff that you've already done. So this is just a bit extra if you want to heighten that grade, which, a good aim, but not, you don't have to. Next one is language features. So identifying language features within the poem. So again, you just want to go through that, the story. You want to go through that story again and highlight everything that you can see. So like personification, metaphor, imagery, simile, etc. If you don't find them all, that's all good. Don't worry too much about it. There are heaps in there though, so you should be able to identify quite a few. And then there are the should do's. This is going to be the hardest part probably, because it's analysis questions, and because the story's quite long and there are quite difficult themes in it, I understand that you might not get all of it done, and that's fine. So essentially we're going to be thinking about things like what's the tone, explaining the effects of language features like metaphors, giving examples from the poem, etc. Now you can just kind of bullet point your answers if you want, or you can write them in full sentences, totally up to you. And then the next one, this is the could do, so you don't have to, but give it a go. It's best to give everything a go. This is the peel paragraph stuff. So I've given you some sentence starters there to write a paragraph. So the question that you'll be answering for that section is what's the main message? Sorry, my battery's gonna die. What's the main message or idea in A Hanging by George Orwell? And then there are some more questions that you can choose if you want to. Then the next one, and this is based solely on if you get bored throughout the holidays, I'm going to be uploading some regular journal prompts that you can do. So the first one I've made live just about 20 minutes ago is this one here. So it's all going to look like this, and there's actually a new section on Classroom called Reflecting in Isolation. So that's the first one there, journal entry 1. And your first journal entry is, for your first entry, write your own personal account of your thoughts on the last week. From the initial uncertainty of COVID-19 or coronavirus, to the second that you heard that school is going to be out for a month. So what were you thinking? What were you feeling? Use descriptive words to express your thoughts and feelings, and try to include a range of language features like personification, simile, metaphor, onomatopoeia, and imagery. This is solely for you, And journal writing, as I said in the little spiel I uploaded before, journal writing is just good for your mental well-being and kind of using that mental energy, because you'll have quite a lot. And if you can't go anywhere, you might as well kind of start reflecting. Okay, I understand this is brief and quite, it's just hard, I suppose, being not with you and kind of working side by side and really, really getting into the nitty-gritty of things. If you do have questions, please email me or just comment on the Google Classroom stuff, and do the work if you want to, if you can, and I will work alongside you from my sleep out, pretty much. So I understand it might be a bit tricky, but I guess the most important thing to do is give things a go, keep your mind active, keep your body active, and wash your hands. Okay, anyway, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow just to check up on you. All right, see ya.